Good evening and welcome once again to the University of St. Francis and the Sullivan Center as we bring you Fighting Saints basketball. The men's team now takes on the Calumet College of St. Joseph men's team after the St. Francis women's team just took care of business. Try to make it a doubleheader Fighting Saints sweep here. The Saints in white, Crimson Wave in crimson, and we are underway. The tip is won by Calumet, going from left to right here in the first half of today's game. 20 minutes on the first half clock. As Calumet starts their first possession, driving inside, scooping it up and missing is Shimon Garrett. And Carter Fahey takes it the other way for the Fighting Saints. Fahey into traffic, all the way inside and misses on the layup. So both sides miss on an attempt in the paint to get things started today. And Calumet will try to break the early scoring struggle. A drive, layup, no good. That time from Reggie Lowry. Here's E.J. Charles for the Fighting Saints. Up top to Fahey. Fahey dribbles once to the left, passes off to Aitor Anabadarte. Inside Charles against a double team on the left block, passes outside. Anabadarte fires a three. It's in and out. Nadav Gerner working for the steal off the rebound, and he's pushed out of bounds. Foul called on Calumet. So give me a chance to run through the starters once more. For Calumet, it's O'Shawn Lee, Floyd Davis, Reggie Lowry, Shimon Garrett, and David Nelson. Fighting Saints, a very veteran starting staff. Nadav Gerner, E.J. Charles, Aitor Anabadarte, Carter Fahey, and Darius Wright. 3 seniors, 2 juniors in the lineup for the Fighting Saints today. E.J. Charles has the basketball on the right side. Charles bounces down low to Carter Fahey. Fahey working low against David Nelson. Turnaround, no good. Nelson grabs the rebound, knocked out of bounds by E.J. Charles. Charles is the leading returning scorer for the Fighting Saints, who are playing their first game of the season. Calumet's had a little bit of experience already this year. They are 0-3. They won their lone exhibition game back in late October. This is the first time that St. Francis has been out there as a team this year. Their exhibitions are scheduled for this coming week. Here's a drive, layup is blocked, and rebound brought in by Reggie Lowry, taken away by the Saints. Here's Anabadarte, ahead for Nadav Gerner. Gerner gives it up to the cutting Carter Fahey, deflected and stolen. David Nelson deflected it. Shimon Garrett came away with the steal, and he's fouled going towards the sideline by the junior Nadav Gerner.
St. Francis foul, number 4, Nadav Gerner, his first, team first.
Almost 2 minutes in, no points yet. Each team has turned it over once. We've seen a combined 0 for 6 from the field. Lowry passes to his right. Up top, it's O'Shawn Lee. Lee dribbles once, kicks it to the left wing. Down to the corner, David Nelson tries the three. Misses off the back rim. Rebound tapped in the hands of Gerner. Lobbed ahead for Fahey. It's one-on-one. Fahey's layup is good. And we're on the board here. St. Francis strikes first on the Carter Fahey layup. That makes it 2-0. A season ago, Fahey scored 6 points per game off the bench for St. Francis. Makes his first start in a couple of years today. Step back jumper for Garrett. Does not fall. Hits the front iron. Can't get the roll. Here comes Darius Wright working it the other way. Wright tries to fling it up top. His pass is deflected by Floyd Davis and taken away. Here's Lee. Picked up by Fahey in the corner. Lee slows it down. 10 seconds gone from this possession as O'Shawn Lee sets up his offense. Lee, step back three-pointer. Too short. Offensive rebound, it's Davis. Here's Lowry in the corner. Reggie Lowry, step back three. That's short. Rebound knocked out of the hands of Anabadarte by Floyd Davis, and Davis lays it in. So after a 3+ minute scoring drought, the Crimson Wave are on the board. We're tied at 2, just over 3 minutes in. Nadav Gerner throws it off to Carter Fahey. Fahey fires right. This is Darius Wright. Wright fires the three in the face of O'Shawn Lee. It's no good and rebounded by Calumet. Nelson's pass deflected by E.J. Charles out of bounds. Charles scored 12 a game last year for the Fighting Saints. He is the leading returning scorer. Joey Bajemi led the team at 13 points per game last season. Bujemi's still around, but he's on the coaching staff now. It was a very balanced offensive attack last year for the Fighting Saints. Scored 76 a game as a team as a foul is called on Anabat-Arte here. But nobody averaged more than 13. Second foul on the Saints. That's the first on Aitor Anabat-Arte. Justin Phillips is in the game for St. Francis. Phillips, senior transfer from Alfred University, gets his first action in a Fighting Saints uniform as David Nelson works his way inside and scores. First lead of the game for Calumet. Our score is 4-2. Anabat-Arte passes up top to Justin Phillips. 5'11" tall senior guard, works his way towards the sideline. Bounce back up top, over to the left wing. It's Darius Wright. Wright bounces to E.J. Charles. Charles with 6 to shoot, finds Fahey at the free throw line. Carter Fahey puts it on the floor, forces up the jumper with the shot clock running down, no good. Off the front rim, rebounded by David Nelson. Nelson carries it the other way, 4.5 minutes in. Just 6 points on the board. Sluggish offensive start in this game for both sides. O'Shawn Lee drives inside around Darius Wright, lays it in. Nice drive by O'Shawn Lee. Lee's got his first 2. It's a 6-0 run for Calumet. St. Francis is now 3 minutes in without scoring. Lobbed off to E.J. Charles. Charles drives with the left hand. Pull-up jumper is too strong. Rebound deflected, and Nelson scoops it up. Over 3 minutes now since the Saints last scored. They trail by only 4, though. They played well defensively so far. Drive from Lee, dishes it off down low to Nelson. Blocked from behind by Charles. But it's brought back by Floyd Davis, and Davis flips it up with his right hand and makes it an 8-0 Calumet run. Still early here. Saints out of sync offensively so far. Fahey down low, lobs it up top to Darius Wright. 3 white shirts sitting at the scorer's table right now as Wright fires a 3 and knocks it down. That ends that scoring drought, and it ends an 8-0 Calumet run. It's a 1-possession game. The big 3 from Darius Wright. Let's see if that gets the offense rolling a little bit. Wright was a 38% shooter from the outside last year as David Nelson knocks down the jumper. 4 points for Nelson. Calumet is starting to hit its stride offensively. After starting the game out 0 for 7, they have made 5 of their last 6 field goal attempts. Phillips down in the post. Anabat-Arte lays it in. Aitor Anabat-Arte scores for the first time this season, first time in 2 seasons. After a promising freshman campaign, he missed all of last year with an injury, so it's good to see him get rolling here in his first game this year. 3-pointer is banked in by Dylan Hill. There have been some contact on the shot as well. No foul called, but Dylan Hill is able to knock one in from the outside and build the lead back to 6, matching their biggest advantage of the half. Wright lobs it for E.J. Charles. Charles goes up high for it, and he's fouled by David Nelson. First foul on Nelson, second on the Crimson Wave. E.J. Charles will get 2 free throws. Charles looking for his first point of the season. He's got it. It's an aspect of his game that has improved dramatically. As a sophomore a couple of years ago, he really struggled from the line. Last year, he was a very reliable free throw shooter. Called by the official. Allows St. Francis to make a substitution here. Aitor Anabat-Arte comes in for Rehana Maxwell-Topia. (28-17). Lead belongs to Calumet. The officials will get together and talk this thing out before we continue. We are ready to go. I'm not sure what the initial stoppage was about. We'll play on. Shot clock at 20. Nadav Gerner gets it across half court. His pass deflected. Joaquim chases it down to half court. Here's Carter Fahey. No look pass to the cutting Lewis McGlasson, who finishes strong at the rim. Beautiful pass from Fahey. Nice finish for Lewis McGlasson, who scores for the first time. Shaman Garrett walks it to the left. Garrett drives. Garrett pulls up in the paint. Turnaround on Fahey is good. Nice drive. Shaman Garrett. Garrett entered play today, averaging 11 points per game, second most on the team. Three-pointer is good for Don Joaquim. He's got 9 points so far in the game. Lead is 8 for Calumet. Thrown out of bounds. Garrett coughs it up. A rare mistake for Shaman Garrett here in this first half. He's played well. Timeout called by Calumet's College of St. Joseph. 6:37 to play in the first half. It's a 30-22 game in favor of Calumet. Kind of a disjointed start to today's game. Neither team could get into an offensive rhythm early on. Calumet changed that. As time went by, they got hot from the field. And they are shooting over 50% for the game now. 13 of 18, very impressive run after their 0 for 7 start. So they're at 52% total right now. Fighting Saints are at 40%. But they've started to heat up a little bit too. They're 3 of their last 4. It's Gerner, Charles, Joaquim, Fahey. And that's all on the floor for St. Francis right now. You figure they'll want to fit. There he is, Aitor Anabadarte. I was looking on the floor. I forgot somebody had to throw the ball in. So they do have 5. That's always helpful. Lobbed inside for Anabadarte. Double teamed. He's got the size advantage. Kicks it outside to Fahey. Carter Fahey picks up his dribble. Puts it up on the outside. Knocked away from Joaquim out of bounds, but last touch by the Saints. So they turn it over for the 7th time today. Casimir Ochiaka checks back in for the Fighting Saints. So does Darius Wright. Pull-up jumper from the corner is short from DJ Shelton. Rebound grabbed by E.J. Charles. Charles averaged 6 rebounds a game last year. Nadav Gerner looking for Ochiaka inside. Easy pickoff for Floyd Davis. Davis going the other way, lays it high off the glass, no good. Amidst the pressure from Charles and Anabadarte. Gerner takes control of possession once again. Didn't see Floyd Davis the last time he had it. Ended up throwing the ball away. This time he hands it to Darius Wright, and Wright knocks down his second three-pointer of the game. Just a 5-point deficit now for the Fighting Saints. They're hanging around in a game they've trailed by as many as 11. Charles pokes it away from Shelton from behind and out of bounds on St. Francis. Fighting Saints' only lead so far tonight was at 2-0. Antonio Buckley checks in for the first time and immediately gets his hands on the ball as he inbounds it up top to David Nelson. Nelson drives left side. His runner misses, but he's fouled. Hit on the arm by Casimir Ochiaka. Second foul on Ochiaka. It's the 5th on St. Francis. Nelson goes to the line here. David Nelson scored 4 early points for Calumet. Hasn't made a free throw yet this year until now. He's 1 for 4 on the season. Good start for Calumet. 0-3 on the year coming into play today, but they're getting closer. It took overtime for Roosevelt to knock them out last week. Second free throw misses. Rebound is nearly lost out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Ochiaka and Charles fought with each other over it. But Gerner was able to chase it down in the corner, right along the sideline. Here's Ochiaka on the drive, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. 7th foul on Calumet puts St. Francis in the bonus.
Personal foul number 33, David Nelson, his second, team 7.
One and one here for Ochiaka. His first free throw attempts in a St. Francis uniform. High arcing shot misses off the back iron, no good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds, and that was last touched by Floyd Davis. Credit to E.J. Charles for putting the pressure on Davis, forcing the ball out on him. So the Saints will have 20 on the shot clock as they inbound from the sideline. Trailing by 6. They've scored 6 of the game's last 7 points. Darius Wright fakes the shot, loses the ball, diving on top of it. Antonio Buckley keeps it alive for Calumet as he picks up a steal. Down the other way along the baseline, reverse layup, no good for Reggie Lowry. Calumet has slowed down offensively again. For the second time today, they've gone over 3 minutes without a bucket. Knocked around and stolen by Buckley. Charles was trying to find Aitor Anabadarte on that pass, but didn't get it up high enough. Nelson passes off to his left. This is Shimon Garrett. Garrett works against Nadav Gerner. Drives down low, poked away by Charles. The ball knocked out of bounds, and I think we've got a foul on Calumet here. That is a loose ball foul. So that means that St. Francis will get free throws out of it, or at least one free throw. First foul on Floyd Davis. Darius Wright will get a 1-and-1. First shot for Wright, no good. Saints struggling on the free throws here. That's the second time they've missed a front end. David Nelson pulls up from the free throw line and misses the jumper. It almost went in off the first bounce, but he does end up missing the shot. Here's Wright. Over to Charles on the left side. Guarded by Floyd Davis. Down low, Ochiaka. Help coming from Davis. Ochiaka throws it up off the glass, no good. 3 defenders in the way. Ochiaka could not get a good look. Good deflection by E.J. Charles, and the Saints come away with another steal. Darius Wright fires it inside. Anabadarte down low towards Ochiaka, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Crimson Wave. 23 on the shot clock for the Fighting Saints, who bring Joaquim and Rihanna Maxwell-Topia back off the bench. Charles and Aitor Anabadarte sit down. And he makes the first foul shot here. Last season, Darius Wright made 81% of his free throws. He'll be right on track if he makes this one, 4 of 5 for the game. Would put him at 80%. And he does make this one. So Darius Wright becomes the first player for the Saints to reach double figures today. He's got 10 points. His side trails by 8. Nelson, far from the basket. Hands it off to O'Shawn Lee, and Lee sets up the offense. Nelson, back to the right side, Reggie Lowry. Lowry drives on Charles. Charles gets in his way, does not allow the shot to go. Saints come away with it. Fahey pushing it ahead. Darius Wright down to the corner. Joaquim spins around Floyd Davis, kicks it to Fahey. Carter Fahey on the drive, banks it home. Probably the final possession of the half for the Crimson Wave. They've led just about the whole way. Runner is no good from O'Shawn Lee, a little bit out of control that time. Did not get the rim. So as the rebound is knocked out of bounds by St. Francis, the shot clock will not reset for the Crimson Wave. It's at 15 seconds right now. 28.7 on the game clock for the first half. Steal by Aitor Anabadarte. He jumps in and takes the pass away from Floyd Davis. A three-pointer would make this a one-possession game going into halftime. Saints trailed by at least two possessions pretty much the whole half. Wright with 6 seconds does fire the three. Short. Rebound tracked down by Don Joaquin, who spins around a defender and loses the handle on it. And the first half is over. Saints keep it close despite not shooting well, despite turning it over a lot more than they'd like. They hang in there with a Calumet team that got off ready to start the second half here. St. Francis going from left to right now. They get the first possession. All five starters on the floor for the Saints. Nadav Gurner dribbles it off to the left side. Gurner guarded by Shaman Garrett, passes back up top. Darius Wright over on the right wing. It's E.J. Charles, who had a quiet first half, trying to get going here. Leading scorer returning from last year's team. This is Gurner with 10 to shoot. Out to Darius Wright, and Wright knocks down his third three-pointer of the game. 13 for Darius Wright, and the Saints are within 3. This is as close as it's been in a long time. See if Calumet comes out firing in the second half. First offensive possession for them. Floyd Davis up top to David Nelson, and Nelson shuffled his feet. Traveling is called against the Crimson Wave. So the Saints have the ball now with a chance to tie it up. We haven't been tied since it was 2-2 with 17 minutes remaining in the first half. Just under that. Here's Carter Fahey passing inside. Aitor Anabadarte is fouled by David Nelson. Beautiful pass right there by Carter Fahey to set up Anabadarte inside. Couldn't quite finish, but he'll get a chance for 2 points anyway. Aitor missed all of last season with an injury, so this is the first time he's been at the foul line in a long time. 2 points so far in the game. And the first free throw attempt rattles out. St. Francis is playing its first game of the year. For Calumet, this is the 4th game of the regular season. They had an exhibition last month as well. Anabadarte misses them both. David Nelson grabs the rebound. It's already the 4th conference game for Calumet. Or its 3rd conference game, rather. They took on Huntington in a non-conference matchup, but they've also lost to Roosevelt. I'm actually looking at their schedule now, in Bethel, which is not in the CCAC, so I had it wrong. 2nd conference game, 4th game overall. Spinning is O'Shawn Lee putting up the jumper. Nice drive by Lee there, 4 points for him. Came into play today leading the team in scoring, averaging 12 points per game. Nadav Gurner dribbles it to the free throw line, picks it up, tries to get it to Carter Fahey. The pass is deflected, and Darius Wright trying to dive on top of it, knocks it out of bounds. And now the other referee comes over and reverses the call, because it actually went off of David Nelson, not Darius Wright. So possession will stay with the Fighting Saints. 12 on the shot clock. Down by 6 at halftime. It's a 5-point game right now, just 2 minutes into the second stanza. E.J. Charles inbounds to Aitor Anabadarte. Anabadarte walks it to the top of the key. Drives, floats it up off the backboard. No good. Rebounded by Nelson. Here's Shaman Garrett for the Crimson Wave. Off to the corner, Floyd Davis. Great first half. Davis hasn't gotten involved yet in the second half. Here he falls out of bounds. Thought he was fouled. Didn't get the call though. And so he is called for the turnover instead. Davis's 3rd turnover of the game. 8th for Calumet. St. Francis has turned it over 14 times today. Big problem in the first half. They have not coughed it up yet here in the second. Anabadarte, backdoor pass to E.J. Charles, and Charles is fouled going to the basket. Charles a season ago averaged about 12.5 points, 6.5 rebounds per game for the Fighting Saints. Just 2 points, 2 rebounds in the first half of this game as a timeout is called by Calumet St. Joseph. 17:34 to play in the second half, 39-34. Calumet has the lead. They've led just about the entire way, but St. Francis is keeping it close. Here in the second half, E.J. Charles will head to the free throw line when we come back from this timeout. Charles, I mentioned, has been quiet today. Darius Wright has been the big performer offensively that has kept the team afloat. He's got 13 points on 3 of 6 from the field, including 3 of 5 from three-point range. And then Don Joaquin came off the bench in the first half, scored 9 points in 11 minutes. That was a huge boost to the Fighting Saints. Still trying to find their rhythm, playing in their first game of the year. Usually you see a few exhibition games before the first regular season matchup. Saints will head down south this weekend to Louisiana to play some exhibitions there. So they won't return home for another CCAC game for 2 weeks after this. E.J. Charles makes the first free throw. It's a weird schedule to start the season with a conference game and then to play your exhibitions and some non-conference opponents. Fahey grabs the rebound on the free throw missed by Charles. Fahey's layup misses. And the rebound goes to Shaman Garrett. So Charles comes up with 1 of 2. He's got 3 points for the game. Garrett, guarded by Gerner, gives it up to Lowry. Here's O'Shawn Lee. 13 on the shot clock for Garrett, who nearly lost his footing, but he keeps the dribble going. Now the ball is stripped loose on the floor. Anabadarte tries to fall on top of it. We got a big tangled up pile of bodies with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Possession will belong to Calumet on the possession arrow. That's not the best case scenario for St. Francis, but it's not a bad one. They flip the possession arrow to their side, and Calumet wins this possession, but with only 6 to shoot. Dorwin Smith checks in for Calumet. First time Smith's been on the floor this evening. Shaman Garrett heads to the bench. O'Shawn Lee is the trigger man here. Lee looking for Floyd Davis in the corner, overthrows him out of bounds. So Calumet ends up turning it over even after maintaining possession on the tie-up. St. Francis takes over possession with a chance to make this a 1-score game once again. Aitor Anabadarte handling the ball here. He bounces it across half court and throws off to Carter Fahey. Down low for Darius Wright, pass deflected out of bounds. O'Shawn Lee reached in, got his fingertips on it. Stays with the Saints. More than half the shot clock still to shoot here. Gerner bounces into Fahey. Fahey up with it, no good from the right side. Rebounded by Davis. Here's O'Shawn Lee lobbing it down low to Floyd Davis. Davis passes back outside, swung around the perimeter, and bounced into the post. It's David Nelson working against Carter Fahey. Nelson passes back outside. This is O'Shawn Lee with 8 to shoot, stepping up to the three-point line, working against E.J. Charles. Drives the lane, and he's fouled going to the basket. .22 remaining in this game. E.J. Charles is on the ground. He got called for the foul there, but he got whacked in the face as well. You can see him pantomiming an elbow to the face. He's got some blood streaming down his cheek at the moment, so he's got to depart for now. They're going to have to clean the blood up if any of that got on the floor. And they'll clean up E.J. Charles as well if they can do so in a timely fashion. He can get back into the game right away, but can't be out there with an open cut. So they'll wipe off the blood that is on the floor. And while E.J. Charles is being tended to by the training staff, it looks like Don Joaquin will check in for him. Joaquim had a great first half, 3 of 5 shooting, scored 9 points. Provided some good energy off the bench for the Fighting Saints. And now he checks in as E.J. Charles picks up his first foul of the game. And gets a big wound as a result of it. Big wound sounds probably way more dramatic than I should, but he got a cut across the face. It's getting cleaned up right now. Free throws for O'Shawn Lee. He's got 2 of them coming his way. Lee's got 4 points so far this evening. There's number 5. 5-point lead for Cal St. Joe's. They led by 6 at the half. This whole game has been kind of disjointed. Not a lot of rhythm going either way except for a stretch about midway through the first half when Calumet was able to build their big lead. Second free throw is no good. Aitor Anabararte, junior center from Spain, grabs the rebound. Here's Fahey on the drive. Fahey to the basket, lays it in. Fahey's been very aggressive today. Hasn't shot the ball all that well, but it was a nice drive and a strong finish that time as a foul is called against St. Francis on this end of the floor. Foul on Joaquim, his first. I think that is second foul. Second on the Saints. Each team has 2. This on the floor, so O'Shawn Lee will inbound it. Lee finds Dorwin Smith. Floyd Davis at the top of the key. Guarded by Gurna, hands it off. Smith once again pulls up 12 feet out, knocks down the jumper. Nice pull-up shot from Dorwin Smith. His first points of the game, his first field goal attempt of the game. Fahey working against Jabari Hill, gets across the timeline. Double team, picks up his dribble, throws it away, and it's picked off by Lowry. Reggie Lowry takes it all the way in for the layup. 7-point lead for Calumet as they've scored the last 3. Saints looking to jump back into this thing on the offensive end, facing a tough Calumet trap. Joaquim open on the left wing, nice fake, steps in, 2-point jumper misses. And the rebound goes to Jabari Hill. Here's O'Shawn Lee for Calumet. Lee at the free throw line, fires it down to the corner. Reggie Lowry swings it back around to Lee. Left side is Jabari Hill. Hill picks it up. His pass deflected by Gurner, finds Dorwin Smith anyway. Smith unsuccessful trying to score over Anabararte, but an offensive rebound, another chance for Reggie Lowry, who misses short on the 3-point attempt. Saints are on the move. It's Joaquim taking it all the way and missing on the runner. O'Shawn Lee tried to draw the charge. Joaquim stepped right around him, but was not able to finish. Saints continue to struggle with their shot. They've been a pretty low percentage throughout the game, just 2 of 7 shooting in the second half. Anabararte reaches in, tries to take the ball away from Davis to no avail. Davis kicks it out to O'Shawn Lee. Back into Davis, up with the right hand, no good. Bodies flying all over the floor, no fouls called either way. Here's Joaquim out in front of the pack. He is blocked by Jabari Hill, who comes in from the weak side. Big time block by Hill. On the other end, O'Shawn Lee steps into a 3 and misses. Fahey grabs the rebound. Play continues. There's an injured man for Calumet, but Joaquim is all alone in the front court, and he lays it in. A lot of the players stopped because Floyd Davis was down hurt. Davis went down 2 possessions ago, and he just kind of creeped off the floor to the out-of-bounds line just to get out of the way. Play continued, and a lot of the players did not. They figured see him back out there as Fahey knocks down the first of 2 free throw attempts. Aitor Anabararte and Darius Wright reclaim their spots on the floor. They're out there with Gurner, Charles, and Fahey. 5 starters playing for the Fighting Saints. 9 minutes to go in this one. Saints are within 3. They've been as close as 1. Biggest deficit has been 11 points. In the second half, they've been down by as many as 8. It was a 6-point game at halftime. On the runner, O'Shawn Lee is fouled by Nadav Gurner. So he's going to the free throw line. St. Francis so far in this game is plus 11 in free throw attempts. They have not shot their foul shots well today. Just 13 of 22. 2 of their misses were the first in a one-on-one opportunity. So they've had the opportunities from the line to seize control of this game, and they haven't taken them. But Calumet has not shot well from the free throw line either. They're now 5 of 12. 16 total free throws in the first half. This is already our 20th free throw combined here in the second. Gotten very physical. 15 total fouls. Saints are in the double bonus. Calumet has only been fouled 5 times. 1 of 2 for O'Shawn Lee gives him 8 points and gives his team a 4-point advantage. Nadav Gerner gives it to Darius Wright. High post, it's Aitor Anabadartse working against Lowry. Nice bounce pass inside. Fahey can't finish. Gets his own rebound, misses a second time. Here's Anabadartse, third opportunity of the possession, and he puts it in. The Saints are within 2. Here's O'Shawn Lee. Lee pulls up just inside the free throw line, knocks down the jumper. E.J. Charles went for the steal on the outside, over pursued. And Lee was able to create a nice look for himself. He's in a double figures now, second Crimson Wave to hit 10 points. Floyd Davis leads the side with 15. 4-point deficit for the Fighting Saints with the ball, under 8 minutes to go in the game. Darius Wright steps into a 3, misses it short. Quick shot from Wright that time. Here's Lee working against Gerner. Lee hit the big jumper on the last possession. Pulls up this time and passes, gets the ball back with half the shot clock used up. Here's Shimon Garrett. Garrett hasn't seen the floor much here in the second half. Lee steps back into a three-pointer, it's perfect. O'Shawn Lee has scored 5 in a row to pull the Calumet lead back up to 7. Here's Nadav Gerner passing off to E.J. Charles on the left wing. Handed back to Gerner. Gerner lobs it for Charles, looking for the alley-oop. The pass came in a little bit short, and Charles was fouled on the play. So he'll get 2 free throws. Saints bailed out a little bit right there on the foul call against Floyd Davis. The alley-oop pass did come in short, but Davis undercut Charles, and so E.J. gets a couple of free throws. He misses on the first free throw. All of his points have come from the line tonight. He's 2 for 3 on foul shots. Charles from the field tonight is just 0 for 1 in 18 minutes. Last season, he scored over 12 points per game and did so on 9 field goal attempts per game. He's been shut down so far tonight by the Crimson Wave defense. He makes his second free throw. 59-53. Charles actually 4 of 6 now from the foul line. All of his points have come from there, as I mentioned. Lee's pass deflected by Gerner. Anabadartse comes away with the takeaway. Darius Wright met by Shimon Garrett. He picks it up along the baseline, lobs it out to Nadav Gerner, who resets the offensive possession. 20 to shoot. Charles on the right wing, tries the three-pointer. No good with a hand in his face. O'Shawn Lee on the defense. Here comes Calumet. Jabari Hill out to O'Shawn Lee, who traveled. 6.5 minutes to play here. We've got a 6-point game and a timeout called by Calumet. 59-53. Calumet has led this one throughout. Last time the Saints were on top was at 2-0. Calumet built the lead as big as 11. Back in the first half, it was 30-19, but the Saints righted the ship after that. They have on several occasions gotten to within 1 possession, including at one time cutting the lead all the way to 1. It was 45-44. And then Calumet got hot again, and that's kind of the way it's gone. St. Francis has made a run. Calumet has responded. going back and forth like that throughout this second half. Crimson Wave pulled off an upset of St. Francis, 59-58. Out in Indiana almost a year ago today. It was November 10th of last year. One of Calumet's 4 wins on the season came against the Fighting Saints, and they caught the Saints at the right time here if they want to pull off the upset again. Of course, I call it an upset now. I don't really know how these teams are going to turn out. We're so early in the season. Maybe by the end of the season, they'll be a major CCAC contender. Who knows? They haven't been in recent years, though. But this is their 5th game of the year, including their exhibition win against East-West University last month. St. Francis is still getting their sea legs under them. They have not played yet this year, so for Calumet, again, they're catching them at the right time. A team that certainly in the first half looked a little bit out of sync. They have not shot the ball well in the second half. They've played a better game, but the shots just aren't falling. They've only turned it over twice this half, but 32 field goal percentage during that time. They're down by 6 with the ball. Here's Aitor Anabadarte passing off to Nadav Gurner on the left wing. Down low to Carter Fahey. Fahey works against Jabari Hill. Turns to face the basket. Takes a couple of dribbles, forces up a shot, and draws the foul. Fahey has remained aggressive, just 3 of 11 shooting. But he has done a really good job of forcing the ball inside. Third time that he's gotten himself to the free throw line this half. Just 2 of 4 from the line. And he'll take his 5th and 6th attempts here after the trainer heads across the court. I think Charles might be bleeding again. So he's got to get Charles cleaned up once more. And in the meantime, Don Joaquin will check in. So Carter Fahey at the free throw line, 50% tonight, 63% last year. First game of the season for the Saints. Carter Fahey misses on the first free throw. Free throws continue to be a bugaboo for the Saints. Again, they've been a problem for Calumet as well. They're shooting just 46%. St. Francis at 56% as Fahey makes the second. It's on a lot more attempts for the Fighting Saints. They've missed 11 foul shots, and that's costly when you're down by 5 points. O'Shawn Lee sets up the offense for Calumet. Here's Shaman Garrett, handing it off to Reggie Lowry. A lot of side-to-side action for the Crimson Wave. A little weave on the outside. Lee with 10 on the shot clock, makes a move to the right. And he's called for the carry. Second time in the last couple of minutes that O'Shawn Lee has turned it over. He traveled a few possessions ago. This time he picked it up. 14th time that Calumet has committed a turnover today, so the two teams are just about even there now, where the Saints doubled up the turnover count for the Crimson Wave in the first half. Darius Wright, high post to Carter Fahey. Fahey backs in. Turnaround over Jabari Hill, he got it. It's a one-possession game yet again, 59-56. Calumet will try to extend it here with Reggie Lowry handling the ball. Lowry walks it into Aitor Anabadarte at the free throw line. Drives, kicks out to O'Shawn Lee. Lee looked like he thought about that three, didn't take it. Now he steps back, pulls up at the free throw line. Jumper is too strong. Rebound tipped out to Nadav Gurner. Gurner's off to the races, slows it down, shovels it out to Darius Wright, and Wright's pass is off of Floyd Davis's foot, out of bounds. Three-pointer would tie the score here. E.J. Charles checks back in. Nadav Gurner heads to the bench. So Darius Wright will take over the ball handling duties as he lobs into Carter Fahey down in the corner. Fahey turns to face the basket, working against Jabari Hill. Fouled by Hill. Double bonus for the Fighting Saints. Fahey goes back to the free throw line. This will be his 7th and 8th free throw attempts this half alone. He's made 1 of 2 on average tonight. He makes the first here, so an opportunity to knock them both down. This would make it a 1-point game. David Nelson comes back in with 5 minutes to play. Nelson's been on the bench the last few minutes after picking up his 4th foul. And Fahey hits them both this time. Timeout called. St. Francis 59-58 our score. 4:59 on the clock. The Saints are back to within 1 point. They've been here a few times tonight. Haven't been able to score that next point, get over the hump. Tie it or take the lead. We've seen one tie tonight and one lead change. They both occurred in the first 3.5 minutes of action. Saints led 2-0. Calumet came down on the next possession, tied the score at 2. And that was part of an 8-0 run for the Crimson Wave that gave them an 8-2 lead, and they have not looked back. They led by 6 at halftime, led by as many as 11 in the first half, and it's been a 1 or 2 possession game pretty much the entire way in this second half, but always with Calumet on top. Saints have outscored them 27-22 in the second half, despite shooting just 35% from the field. Calumet is shooting 47% in the second half, but they've turned it over 7 times compared to the Saints twice. And they have committed 13 fouls in this second half compared to St. Francis's 5. Huge advantage at the free throw line for St. Francis. They are plus 11 in points at the free throw line, plus 15 in attempts. But it was the foul shooting, even though they weren't shooting at a high percentage. It was the foul shooting that was keeping them alive for a long time, and it has kept them in it long enough that they are in good position right now to try to overcome this deficit. It is Calumet basketball, and every time they've needed a bucket tonight, they've gotten one. Let's see if they can pull it off again right here. Shimon Garrett will take it down the floor, shadowed loosely by E.J. Charles. Now a trap at half court, and the Saints looked for an instant like they had forced the turnover, but Charles kicked it. So it'll stay with Calumet. Dorwin Smith inbounds it to Shimon Garrett. Garrett immediately trapped in the corner, gets it away to Davis. Floyd Davis's pass is deflected. Joaquim on the deflection. Carter Fahey picks up the loose ball. Saints can lead here. First time they've held the ball with a chance to take the lead. Fahey misses short on the three-pointer. Rebound chased out of bounds by Joaquim, and he cannot save it. A valiant effort by the junior guard who made a diving attempt. Couldn't quite pull it in. The Saints, who had cut the deficit to 1 before, had immediately seen Calumet score after that. That last possession was the first one where they had a chance to take the lead in a long time. They were not able to score, but their defensive intensity is picked up, putting on this trap. That ball is knocked out of bounds. Another inbounds play coming up for O'Shawn Lee. Gets it into Dorwin Smith, right back to Lee. He sets it up. Trapped again by Charles and Joaquim, and this time a foul is called on the Fighting Saints. It's only their 6th. So Calumet is not in the bonus just yet. Dorwin Smith is the inbounder once again. 21 on the shot clock. Here's Shimon Garrett. Quiet day for Garrett. Bounces to Davis. Kicked outside, right wing. It's O'Shawn Lee. Lee looking for Davis. Good defense from Anabadarte. He finds Dorwin Smith instead. Smith shovels it out to Davis. 4 to shoot. Lee to Davis. Davis drives, trips, and a foul is called on Aitor Anabadarte. Tough call against him with 1 on the shot clock. It looked like Davis lost his footing before the contact. And that is the 7th, so that puts Calumet in the bonus. 1-1 here for Floyd Davis. Davis is a team leading 15 points tonight. Big free throw coming up right here. He missed it, and the rebound belongs to the Fighting Saints. So with under 4 minutes to play, they once again have a chance to take the lead. They have not been ahead since it was 2-0. Charles walks up to the three-point line. Now drives on Nelson. Nelson with 4 fouls. Charles works his way to the basket and rolls it in. E.J. Charles with his first field goal of the game gives St. Francis a 1-point lead, their first lead in over 30 minutes of game time. A foul called on St. Francis puts Calumet right back to the free throw line. This time it's O'Shawn Lee. Missed free throws have been so critical for both teams tonight. None bigger than the front end that Floyd Davis missed on the last possession. Now Lee gets a 1-and-1. This for the tie. And he made it. One more for the lead. Lee's got 14 points tonight. He's come on strong here in the second half after scoring just 2 in the first half. O'Shawn Lee's a good free throw shooter, but he makes just 1 of 2, and a foul called on Calumet on the rebound. That's on David Nelson. That's his 5th, and it will send St. Francis down the other way so they can get 2 free throws. What a turn of events right there. 1 second, Calumet has a free throw attempt with a chance to take the lead. The next second, they're giving 2 free throws to St. Francis, and their starting center has fouled out. Aitor Anabatarte is 0 of 2 from the line tonight. 4 points, 7 rebounds in his return to action. First time he's been out there in a couple of years. Ryan Marks will use his free time out here on the foul out, calling his team over to the sideline while he waits for Marcus Jefferson to make his substitution. It'll be Jabari Hill coming in for Nelson. Hill is playing with 4 fouls as well. Nelson fouled out with 9 points, 8 rebounds in 22 minutes of action. And now a chance for St. Francis to reclaim the lead. First free throw is good. This next one would match the largest lead of the game. Calumet led by as many as 11 points back in the first half. Not able to hold it. Now we'll see if St. Francis can hold their narrow lead with just over 3.5 minutes to play. 62-60. Shimon Garrett trapped, passes out of it to Lee. O'Shawn Lee works around the perimeter, slows it down, finds Garrett. Garrett thought about the 3, passes out to Lee. Lee gets around Charles, loses his footing, but gets rid of it in the process. Garrett drives, kicks to Lee. 7 to shoot. Injured player down, Jabari Hill. Forces the stoppage in action. Hill went down. I didn't see when he went down on that play, but he was down on his knees right at the top of the key. And so with 7 on the shot clock, the whistle blew. He was in a dangerous spot right there. So the officials did not want to see the possession play out before stopping it. Favoring the right leg right now. That's what they're looking at. 3:15 to go in the game. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Calumet St. Joe's basketball when we come out of this injury break. 15 points for Floyd Davis. 9 rebounds lead the way for Calumet. Big game for Davis today. 6 of 8 shooting, but he has attempted only 2 shots here in the second half. O'Shawn Lee has taken over. He's 4 of 6 from the field in this second half for 14 points. Saints have gotten a lot of their work done from the free throw line. They've scored 11 of their 31 second half points from the stripe, which has allowed them to recover from just a 36% rate from the field. 16 points for Darius Wright, 13 for Carter Fahey, who's 1 rebound away from a double-double. Don Joaquim's got 11 in his St. Francis debut. Jabari Hill is being carried off the floors. It's never a good sign that he's not able to put any weight on his legs. They'll check on him on the sideline. Already minus David Nelson, who fouled out. They're without Jabari Hill now. You would think for the rest of the game. There's only 3 minutes and some change remaining. And when a guy cannot walk off the floor on his own, it's hard to imagine we'll be seeing him again over the final few minutes. So Crimson Wave will go with Smith, Garrett, Lee, Davis, and Lowry here. Anabarte almost tipped it away. 3 seconds on the shot clock. They have to get a shot off quickly. Davis's runner misses. Fahey grabs his 10th rebound of the game. So the Saints are in control now with just a 2-point lead, but with the ball after they've trailed almost the entire game. They are in great shape down the stretch with under 3 minutes to play. Aitor Anabarte, nice drive, but comes up short on the layup. And a foul is called on whom? It's against St. Francis. I don't know who it went on. Aitor Anabarte is called for the loose ball foul. It's the 9th on the team. That means we're going down the other way for a 1-and-1. Reggie Lowry will get the free throw attempts. Lowry is not a good free throw shooter. And it shows on the first one, he missed it. Rebound tipped outside, a battle for it. Held ball, it's going to stay with Calumet. Lowry now just 1 of 3 from the line today, 2 of 9 for the season. E.J. Charles a little slow to get up on that last one, but he's okay. Shot clock is at 20 for Calumet. This is really the start of their possession. Ball came down here on a loose ball foul on the rebound over on the other end. So the possession began with the free throw. The missed free throw was the start of it for Calumet. But as they had the possession error, now they'll start their possession really for the first time, even though technically this would be second chance if they were able to score. Nadav Gerner comes in for E.J. Charles. Saints go small here. Crimson Wave are going pretty small as well. A couple of their big guys are not available right now. Here's O'Shawn Lee. Driving to his left. Lee's layup rims out. Rebound, Anabarte. Calumet has gone ice cold down the stretch. Darius Wright hugging the sideline. Picks up the dribble, bounces out to Anabarte. Here's Joaquim on the left side. Shot clock at 10. Dribbles to the free throw line. Jumper deadens at the rim and falls. He's got 13. Saints have their biggest lead of the night, 64-60. Shaman Garrett forces his way inside and draws the foul. A lot of starts and stops down the stretch here. Loads of free throws in this second half. We've seen 24 fouls called. And both sides are in the double bonus. Calumet is just 4 for 12 from the free throw line so far this half. Make it 4 for 13 as Shaman Garrett misses the first one. I've talked about St. Francis' struggles from the line, keeping them from taking the lead a lot earlier than they did. Now Calumet's faced with the same quandary as Garrett ends up with 1 of 2. Hard to complete a comeback if you can't make your free throws. They trail by 3. Full court pressure. Gerner lobs it across half court to Joaquim, who travels. Took a big step before firing his pass. The full court pressure defense works out exactly the way Marcus Jefferson drew it up. 3-point game. The Wave can tie it here. Although they have not shot the ball all that well or all that much from beyond the arc, just 3 of 12. Lee drives left side, scores, and a foul. So without even having to take a 3, they can tie it up here. O'Shawn Lee continues his big second half, 14 points since halftime. Timeout call.
Timeout, Fighting Saints. It's a full timeout.
It's a full timeout with 1:51 to play. St. Francis hugging on to a tight lead, 64-63. They trailed just about the whole game. They led 2-0 and then did not get their next lead until 62-60. They built it up to 4, but Calumet, thanks to a free throw and then that O'Shawn Lee drive just moments ago, is down by just 1. Coming out of the timeout, Lee will be at the free throw line to try to tie the score. He's just 3 of 6 from the line today, but he's one of the better foul shooters on this team, 75% on the year coming in for a team that has shot just 60% on free throws on the season. Today they've shot only 42% from the line. It's been a continuing storyline. Foul shooting has been huge for both sides, has not been particularly good for either side. St. Francis, though, has shot just 37% from the field this half, and they clawed their way back from the 6-point halftime deficit thanks to their 11 free throws. They've outscored Calumet 33-26 since the break. Lee is in position at the line, waiting to take his attempt at tying the score. 16 points in the game, tied with Darius Wright for a game high. Shooting for number 17 right now. Free throw misses again, and the rebound goes to Gerner. Lee now just 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Crimson Wave are shooting 40% on their free throws. A big break for the Fighting Saints, who continue to lead by 1 point. Aitor Anabedarte is held inside by Floyd Davis. He'll go back to the line. Anabedarte 2 of 4 on his free throw attempts today. First foul shot is good. Saints have not been great from the line tonight, but when it's counted most down the stretch, they've been hitting their free throws. Calumet has not, and that's been the difference. Anabedarte goes 2 of 2. Back to a 3-point game. 66-63, 90 seconds to play. Shaman Garrett and O'Shawn Lee working back and forth against this trap. Lee's pass inside deflected, but somehow picked out of the air by Floyd Davis. Shaman Garrett for 3 and the tie, he got it. Just the 4th made 3-pointer today for Calumet, but it evens the score at 66 with just over a minute to play. The Saints try to clear half court, they do. Joaquin takes it inside, gives it up last second to E.J. Charles, and Charles finishes with a layup. Saints back in front, 68-66, under a minute to go. Garrett hit the big 3 a moment ago. This time he passes to Lee. O'Shawn Lee steps back, now drives on Joaquin, pulls up in the lane, controlled jumper, missed it, and Joaquin comes away with a rebound. He's across half court. Trying to split the defense, it's taken away from him. Ryan Marks wants a foul, it is not forthcoming. O'Shawn Lee drives around Anabedarte to the basket, missed it too hard off the glass, and a foul is called on Calumet on the rebound. O'Shawn Lee had a chance to tie the score on the drive. He drove nicely around Aitor Anabedarte, could not finish at the rim. Don Joaquin is hurt for the Fighting Saints. It's been a busy day for the St. Francis training staff, but he's able to pull himself up and walk down the floor. Looks like he might remain in. Aitor Anabedarte has been good from the line the last 2 times down there. He's hit them both. Floyd Davis just picked up number 5. So Davis has done 16 points, or rather 15 points, 11 rebounds, 5 steals, and 3 assists. He had a great game. Just an outstanding first half. And he played well in the second half as well. Maybe not quite as aggressively, but It's a big loss for Calumet with 30 seconds remaining, and Anabararte trying to salt this thing away. If he makes them both, it would be a 2-score game. He's halfway there. Nine points in the contest. 5 of them have come from the free throw line. 9 points, 9 rebounds for the junior center. And now he's got 10 points. 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Here's Shimon Garrett. Garrett passes off to O'Shawn Lee, off his hands. He's able to keep it alive. Into the corner. Three-pointer for Hill is a little bit short. Rebound grabbed by Anabararte, number 10 for him. He passes off to Darius Wright. Wright trying to run away from the foul, but they got him. Reggie Lowry gets the arm. And St. Francis trying to pump up the crowd right now as they recognize that they apparently are on their way to their first win of the season. It was not an easy one tonight. Hard fought. They trailed almost the entire game. But with 4 minutes remaining, they were able to wrest that lead away from Calumet. And this has been the difference down the stretch. They have been making their free throws. Crimson Wave have not. 71-66, the biggest lead of the game. The most crucial time in the game. Darius Wright misses this one, but he chases down his own rebound, and that should do it. It doesn't look like Calumet is looking to foul. Darius Wright holds it, and that's the ball game. 71-66, our final score. St. Francis comes from behind to pick up the win, and their season opener was not pretty all the way through today.